use my finger.
All right, tell everybody hello. Hey, we are here at the house. You're in my living room. You got Tyler and Lindsay gonna. Ryan. Why do I call you? This is Ryan. Tyler's my older one. Hopefully that's a normal thing most people do to their kids, but we love Ryan just the same, right? So anyway, we're gonna just play some songs here. Ryan's gonna maybe play with me a little bit too, and we'll go ahead and just get going. Just wanna play some white notes?
Daddy, can you do it with my finger for a little bit? Can you do it with my finger?
And Lindsay wants to play with her finger here, so we'll see what happens.
I can't wait to get my cheat.
Okay, wave at everybody and say hello. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Put a comment in there if you can hear the sound, if it's okay, just so I know if it's sounding okay. But we're gonna start off by, I found a song that I don't think I've published it yet. It's called Seeds of Tomorrow. And I'd originally planned on having it be in one of the books, but this is one that didn't make the last book, Special Places, so I thought I'd maybe try playing through that and see how it goes. So are you gonna stay with me, or are you gonna go do the puzzle with Callie?
Or not doing puzzle.
Go do the puzzle for a minute, and then I'll have you come back in a little bit, okay? All right, there's my helpers. So this is Seeds of Tomorrow. Again, this isn't published yet. I don't think. It might have been made it up on the website, but I don't think so. So let me know what you think. Amy, the sound is good. Cool. Lorraine, you're out there, awesome, and Holly in Middleton, Idaho, cool. Let me know where you guys are at. It looks like there's quite a few people online. Just post. I'm just curious to know where everybody's calling in from, since we're all stuck quarantined at home. I'm just planning on playing. Got a couple of new songs I'm going to play through, and then I'm going to probably jump over and do songs from my new book that just came out a week or so ago called Special Places. And then I've got a couple of covers that I might throw in there too that I'm going to do. So I'll just hopefully just enjoy listening a little bit, have some background music, and make your day a little bit better. So here we go. This is Lake Louise. You can tell I haven't practiced this for a while, actually. We start over. So that one is a single I released. I think it was about a year ago. And anyway, it's just a pretty one. It really turned out nice when we threw the orchestra with it. So let's see who's out there. Holy cow, we got over 50 people. Cool. Marvin, you're asking for Jewish music. I am sorry, I'm not the Jewish guy, so I know very, very little polka. Those that don't know Marvin, though, so he used to play the accordion. So if you ever get him at a concert, we need to convince him that he needs to bring his accordion so he can do a concert for you. So on the accordion. Penny, hey, you are on too. Awesome. We got Della, Ann Curtis down in Payson. Cool. Amy up in Edmonton, up in Canada. Hopefully it's a little warmer by now up there. 4 hours from Lake Louise. There you go. That was just for you then. Brighton, Utah. Penny Shelton. Kemmerer, Wyoming. Awesome. Julie. Cool. This is so cool. I almost feel like there's people there and I'm not just talking to the backside of a camera. So awesome. In Argentina, oh my gosh, we got Jose Gomez. Cool. Jose, buen dia. Ojalá que le gusta. Anyway, so next song I'm going to do. So this one is a brand new one. So I did this Sunday late afternoon. I sat down and I started playing this. And so those that are on my email list got this invite. So it's a free song that I just put out there. But I started writing it Sunday night. I finished it about midnight when I actually made the final finishing touches on it. And then I sent an email to everybody, say, hey, go download this for free. Felt like it was super peaceful. And anyway, I really like it. It's kind of coming together cool. And then John Knutson this afternoon, I got on Facebook and he'd taken the song I'd recorded and put out on Facebook, and he threw some violin on top of it. So I don't have the violin, and John's not here with me, unfortunately, but definitely you should just jump on my Facebook page after the little Facebook Live and go check that out, because I think it's going to, when we actually get in the studio and then we do like the magic fairy dust, the Disney magic that seems to happen when we go down with Chuck and Jake, it's awesome. So this is the brand new song. I have not played, I played it one time right before we came on the air live, so just know that it's going to be a little bit rough, and I'm probably going to change it a little bit from the music, but this is Where Heaven Meets Earth. There you go. So again, that one is totally free on the website. If you go out on just tonioli.com, I've got a big ugly green button that looks terrible on the website. I'll admit it right here, but I wanted to make it like big and easy to see. So just click on that, go and add that to the cart. It's free for right now. So I was shocked. I got online earlier today and there's several hundred people have gone and got it. So that's so cool. Just glad I can share and brighten people's day. So as you can probably see behind us here, we got the whole family. I'm going to show you our messy room. This is going to drive Stacy crazy. She's like, oh geez. So we have like dollhouse back here, and we have Stacy. Wave Stacy. Say hi. Hi, Callie. So anyway, we got the family. You're right in the living room. So this is total living room concert going on. So, and they don't have to go now. We're going to just go ahead and add them down below, and we'll be back to normal. So let's see who's there. So you guys can totally stick around. Oh, they finished the puzzle. Now they don't have a puzzle to do, so they're going to leave me. Penny, thanks for downloading the song. Daughter's been working on it, enjoying it all week. Awesome. And definitely, Marvin, thank you. As you're seeing all these artists doing concerts, right now with Facebook, it's so cool that you've got so many artists doing these things. But if you like an artist, go on their page and like them. It's just building that fan base and getting notices when these artists are doing something. It's just a great way to support them, and it's fun to see the people that you enjoy doing. So not just on mine, but Marvin's doing house concerts it seems like almost every night, Marvin, too. So anyway, Stacy, Debbie says hi. So anyway, so thank you again. And Jose en ojalá que en Argentina que ustedes pueden escuchar bien también. So my friends down in Argentina and Costa Rica, I know we've got people all over the place. So, oh my gosh, there's over 70 people now. This is crazy. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to jump on. I've got, for those that haven't been, that are like piano players, this is kind of something fun. If you guys are bored at home, something you might want to try. So there's an app called Guitar Tabs. And if you know how to kind of improvise a little bit while you're stuck at home, this might be a fun thing for you to do. So inside of this Guitar Tabs app, what it'll do is give you the words to songs, and then it'll give you the chords. And if you're improvising and trying to make stuff up, for me, the chords were always the very hardest thing to do. So these things that are called Guitar Tabs, it's like the cheat sheet for those that, like me, that don't play very well. People sometimes, I got asked by my friend Lisa, I was asking her, what should I play today? She says, well, play some Gershwin. And the sad thing is, I have played very, very little on the classical songs. I don't even know a lot of them. So I was not a good piano student. I'm kind of that unlikely kid that plays piano. But when I found these Guitar Tabs and I had the chords, you realize real fast that most of the songs on the radio only have like 4 chords. And it's kind of like that secret that musicians realize, but most everybody else doesn't. So I'm going to just play just make a couple things up off these Guitar Tabs. I'm going to see if you guys can recognize this. But anyway, give it a listen and we'll see if you like them. And again, I'm making this up. Just all I've got the words is the chords and the words. So. Go ahead and post if you know what song it is. Okay, there we go. There you go. So there's one of them. I've got another. This one's kind of fun. See if you can recognize this one here. And switch keys here. Want to go home? Michael Bublé. Penny, you got it. Very good. Awesome. Let me do one more of those, and then this is kind of a nostalgia song for me growing up. So I am a big fan of John Denver. So here's one of my favorite John Denver tunes. One funny thing, I get teased a little bit about this. So I do not hear lyrics very well. If I want to hear like words to songs, I have to like focus so hard. And so for me, if I'm playing a song or a cover song, if I don't have the words in front of me, I honestly I cannot. I have the hardest time doing it. So if I'm making up lyrics ever in like a karaoke, people, you're gonna laugh at me. So anyway, so I've got to have the words in front of me. But then we're gonna go. So here we go. There you go. Leaving on a jet plane. I'm sure we're all about ready to travel, given the situation. I've talked. So those that don't know, we've got a team down in Costa Rica. You can see my shirt here. So one of the companies that I own, we've got some awesome people down in Costa Rica, and they've got the border shut down. And I mean, tourism is their livelihood. And once we get out of this, I know. All places in the world, it's going to be super important for people to get out and travel and just kind of get those economies in smaller towns back going. So if you've got travel plans or had travel plans, love to help you make that happen, and definitely just help these people down in Costa Rica or other places to go out and enjoy some time with family. So anyway, we've still got lots of people. Let's see if we got any other notes. Shreya is up in Alaska, is called here. Awesome. To leave on a jet plane. You're right, Brenda. I am totally with you. Hopefully the piano sounds really good. For those that, I had several people that were asking me, how are we getting the piano sounds? The very first concert I did, I was running the sound through just the computer microphone, and it sounded terrible. So this is what we ended up buying. I'll just move this. So you've got a microphone here over on the piano, and then I've got a little tool here. Let me just fix this a little bit. So it's called an Apogee Duet. So for any of my music friends that are wondering how we're getting the sound out of this is just it's a 2-channel. So I've got the microphone on the piano, and then I've got a little mic for the face here. Anyway, so if you want to hook that up, I just went through Sweetwater. I've got awesome friends over there that hooked me up and kind of got me all the cords. I am not a tech guy, so this has been really cool to be able to share this. So let's jump over. I'm gonna kind of go in and let's pull up a couple songs from my book. So I've got, for those that aren't aware, so we've got this brand new book called Special Places, and usually I play right off the iPad, but I'm gonna just open up some of the songs on here. I'm gonna warn you that a lot of these I honestly have not played through since we approved the book a couple weeks ago for the printer. So expect it to be a little bit rusty, but hopefully the sound is pretty and you got some cool background music to go off of. So Katie, you're saying Sweetwater. I love those. They are awesome. I don't, just every rep I've ever worked with over there is just incredible. So here we go. So this one is Waves of Cornwall. And for any of you that are looking to binge watch a show, so this is my wife Stacy's favorite show. It's called Poldark. It was a PBS show, so if you're into that Downton Abbey type stuff, I really haven't ever been able to get into Downton Abbey, sorry. But Poldark was pretty dang awesome. So it takes place in the late 1700s, and very similar type of stuff, but it's got enough fighting and stuff that I get in. I like it. Stacy, I think, has watched it 7 or 8 times through, though. So they did, I think there's 4 or 5 seasons. Awesome binge watching show, though. I know it's on Amazon Prime and several others, so check it out. Poldark. But this was a song after I'd watched like 3 seasons with my wife. One night I woke up and this song just like popped into my head, and it takes place in Cornwall, England. And anytime there's any like disturbances in the show or like struggles that people are going through, they show these crashing waves. So here goes Waves of Cornwall. this one is called Waterton. And Waterton is up in Canada where I would go with my family every year. My mom's from up there. Just noticed I tried to tap the book and it didn't turn the page like the iPad did. Cool. Let's see, what comments have we got? Marvin, you're promoting, push the share button, do a watch party. Oh, you know what? So I learned something this last week. So there's this thing called watch parties, and Marvin Goldstein, who's 70 years old, taught me about watch parties. How cool is that? So there's like a button that's like pink or purple on your Facebook screen. If you've got friends, one of the things that's really fun to do, if you find somebody's doing Facebook Live that sounds awesome on Facebook, you can click that watch party, and then it'll take you to a screen and let you just invite friends. It'll let you pick, and it'll just pull up a little search bar for your friends on there, and then you can just send, and it can basically come together as a group to watch, and you'll see who's watching it. So anyway, if you're interested in doing that, give it a try. You want to try something new technology-wise, give that a try. I'll probably keep going here for another, I don't know, what time is it? I don't know, another 15, 20 minutes. Still got some energy. So anyway, if you want to go ahead and try that watch party thing, go ahead and give it a shot and let's see if we can get over 100 people watching. That would be so fun. Anyway, so I'm going to just keep playing out of the book. And don't laugh too hard at me if I start tapping the book to try and turn the page like I do with the iPad. So I'm not used to playing off of paper all the time anymore. So here we go. This is Arenal. And Arenal, for those that don't know, Arenal is a volcano down in Costa Rica that blew up. It's gone up like 6,000 or 8,000 feet in the last 50 years, but it actually killed a whole bunch of people back in, I think it was 1968. So it's one of the most beautiful places. They've got hot springs down in Costa Rica at this place, but it is a very deadly, dangerous volcano someday again when that happens. So here's what I feel like it sounds like with the hot springs and everything down in Arenal. This next one is called A Long Day, and Brianne, you're asking for December Snow. We might be able to do that for you. If you guys want to hear, if there's some songs you specifically want to hear, go ahead and throw them up there, and maybe we'll do a little mashup here in a little bit. So here we go. Long Day. Coming home, piece of me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got some more requests. All right, let's go through. I'll do a couple more, and then we'll take some of the requests. This is called To Say Goodbye. And this one is actually, I think it's coming out next week on iTunes and Spotify. I had one come out. If you didn't see the post, we had a brand new song, A Piece of Me, came out early on Monday. So put that one in your playlist if you can. And this one as well, when we recorded it at the studio, we had John down with his violin. And it turned out awesome. This is the other one I'm like super excited about. So, A Piece of Me and then this one both feature him on it, and they turned out so good. Cool. Let's see. Sweet Hour of Prayer, beautiful, playable. Jane, Holly, Dylan, Forgiveness. I'm not even sure where to find that one, actually. I'll have to look. I think that one's in the other book that I don't have here. Let's see. Ryan's Lullaby, Sunset. Maybe let's finish up with Sunset out of this book, and then I'll look on my iPad for a couple of these other songs. So this one's really quick and short. So sun's gone down. You guys actually watch the sunset in the background here. So this is what I felt like a sunset sounded like. And this song is super easy if you're like an intermediate or beginner piano. It's very, very simple, but easy to play and pretty. So if you're one of those that's trying to learn but struggles a little bit, it's total key of C. Visualize that sun going down. There you go. So there's a few of the songs from that Special Places book. Thank you to everybody that I know has ordered that. I love getting the emails from people with feedback on how they've enjoyed doing that. So let's see here. Let me switch over. Any other requests? Throw them up here now, because I'm gonna start looking for a few of them. So Brianne, you're asking which book were you playing out of? So that's the brand new book. It's Special Places. I don't know how well you can see that on the screen there. So just barely came back from the printer. The stores actually don't even have this yet. So I just talked to Day Murray Music in Salt Lake, and they're going to take a couple of them. But I know the stores have just been so slow, so it's been tricky. So you can download the PDFs on Tonioli.com as well. So let me jump over. So I've got a request for December Snow, so let me look that one up, and maybe I'll run through that one real quick. So funny thing is this was one of my very first, this is on my very first album. So it was an original song on the Christmas album, and it's not really Christmassy at all. There's a little bit of Pachelbel canon at the end of this, but this was just, it's always just been one of those favorites, very simple melody. But when we threw the orchestra with it, it just, I don't know, it took on a whole nother life. It was my first real experience with having an orchestra, and I was so lucky. It's been several years now, but up at Weber State for one of the Christmas concerts, they had the Salt Lake Symphony. I got invited to do a couple songs up there with the symphony, and so I got to score the for the full-on 76-person symphony. It was awesome. We even put a tuba part in with this song. So, but anyway, it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, is playing with that orchestra. So if anybody is into the strings or has an orchestra or wants access to that, I'm more than happy to get music, or if there's like a high school band. But it's written for the piano to kind of be that featured instrument with the full-on strings and horns and everybody backing them up. So here's December Snow. And this one is actually in the Shenandoah book if you're looking for that. Had a couple people tell me that they listen to this to go to sleep at night. go. So that was December Snow. All right, we got some requests coming in here. Let's see here. Okay, so I got, I'm just going to, I think I'll just make a couple stuff up. So I may pull up the iPad here again, but let's just throw in some hymns. Nakia, I'm looking for, so we got Haida Kolob, Jeannie. I am trying to think of how the melody goes for Gethsemane, and that is just, I am trying to picture my kids singing that, but I can't think of the lyrics or the words, so I'll have to look up that song and maybe do that one another night. So Marvin saying, "Come Thou Fount." And I know somebody had asked for a Beautiful Savior. Here we go. So that was Be Thou My Vision. One of the things that, cool stories with that song. So I had never heard of it. It's been several years now, but it's one of my most popular songs on Pandora. And when I looked it up, Mac Wilberg had put the song Take Time to Be Holy, which the words are just awesome on that song if you're into, and when I saw those lyrics to Take Time to Be Holy and heard that with Be Thou My Vision, Motab Choir does that, and it was awesome. Just like totally touched me in a just this cool way, and that's when I put that song arrangement together. So it's definitely a special one. Somebody had sent me an email asking for it, and so I looked it up, and that's kind of how that arrangement came. So I'm just, sorry, I'm getting distracted here. So if I could hide a Kolob, here we go. If you could hide a Kolob. man, this one's for you. Dave, there you go. Oh, let's see. So Emily, your sister Amanda fell in love with piano because of Mountain Air. That's pretty cool. Maybe I'll finish up with that. Can't believe we've still got over 60 people. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Hopefully this is making your night a little nicer. Something fun to almost feel like it's like we're kind of together, but we're not. So let's see. I gotta search for Mountain Air on here. I have too many songs these days. Let's see. Mountain Air. Where's it at? I wish I could tell you I just know the melody to all these, but I don't. I've got too many in my head. So funny story with this one. Maybe before I start playing, I'll just share a little bit. So I love to go down the river, and with this one, this was back when I was a teenager. Several of you have probably heard the story, but I'll tell it again. Great story. So I had not started kayaking yet. I was in what they call a ducky, and basically that's a one-man inflatable raft that you see people going down. They've got the paddle. If you flip over, you basically just fall out of the boat, and then you flip your boat back over and you climb back in and smile about it, and it's fun. But I was up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we were floating the river. And it was right after, I want to say it was right after I'd got off my mission. So I would have been like 20, just not quite, maybe I turned 21. And we're floating along, and I'm going through these rapids, and there was this bald eagle. And if you floated the alpine section of the Snake River up there on the way to Jackson Hole, it's just beautiful. There's usually either you'll see the bald eagles or some other really cool thing as you're floating down. And we're floating along, and all of a sudden I remember this bald eagle came down, and it was, I don't know, it was a couple 20, 30 yards away from me still, but got to watch a bald eagle come down, grab a fish, pull it out. It's like kind of one of those National Geographic moments that never really happens unless you're watching it on TV. But I totally got to see it happen. It was awesome. And as that happened, I'm paddling along, we go into the rapids, and I still remember this song like popping into my head. And I'll have that happen often, but I feel like there's kind of this soundtrack that's kind of going on in the background behind us, and not very many people get to hear or realize that the soundtrack is there. And this was one of those cool moments where it totally popped in my head, and I was able to sing it as I'm going down the river. I still remember like singing out loud, top of my lungs, so loud that I actually was really embarrassed because my friend Eric was with me, and I think Andrew was with me as well. But we're floating down, and I'm like singing this song over and over again, and thinking they're gonna think I'm like nuts and like lost it, and so I kind of backed off of them for a ways so I could keep singing the song, because I knew I was like, I really like this song, I don't want to forget it. So as I play this, kind of picture this crazy teenager, almost teenager I guess, paddling down the river singing at the top of his lungs, but just picture the most beautiful scenery. And one other thing, when I really get a song that kind of gets me, or one of those, there's really special places, there's a smell that goes with it too. So like imagine as you're listening, or when you're sitting at the piano, even just try to like breathe in and imagine the smell, not only like the picture in your head of what it's like, but if you close your eyes, you totally can. There are places like Waterton, Canada is one of them. If anybody's been to Waterton, Canada knows there's like a total like special smell about Waterton with those pine trees up there. But Jackson on the Alpine section has that same thing. So close your eyes when I'm playing this, and just kind of breathe in and imagine you're floating down this beautiful river, pine tree smell, and you get to watch this awesome bald eagle grab the fish out. So here we go. Cool. One last I'll just leave you with for tonight. I have not written this one down in a music book, but I need to. So I feel like there's this song right here is one that I think everybody needs to hear and remember. called I Am a Child of God. Brenda, this is I Am a Child of God, and I'm actually just making this up right now, so let me know if you guys want this to be part of the hymn package. I'm working on a bunch of hymns right now. Maybe this will be the next one we do. Brenda, that was Mountain Air. Marvin, you're telling me I got too many people that I can't quit. If you know what song this is, put it on the comments. Marvin, this one's for you too, by the way. Awesome. That was Popcorn Poppin'. So the other night, Marvin asked me what I should have, what he wanted me to, what I wanted to play, and so I made him finish up with Popcorn Poppin'. So, gosh, everybody's still on. Maybe I'll do a couple more. You know what? I'm going to pull up the Special Places book again. There was one song I didn't do that. So each of my kids, I've written a lullaby for them, and this was the one that kind of had the hardest time with. This was the one for Ryan, and I'd started probably 3 or 4 different songs, and just none of them, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. Wasn't the right one. And then a couple months ago, this tune came into my head, and I wrote it down, and it just totally felt like Ryan, my 9-year-old. One of the cool things on the music, maybe I can show you on here, when you are playing, for those that do play, if you notice, let me see if I can find the camera. So you'll notice that I do write a lot of kind of feedback sometimes for the players, but it says breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So when I get to this part, when you're playing music, one of the things that's been most helpful to me is if you can recognize as a musician or as a piano player that all you were really doing when you're doing a piano solo is you're teaching your hand how to sing. It's taking the solo part, and so the sooner you can help, if you're a piano teacher or if you're a piano student, the sooner you can realize all you're doing is singing with your fingers, the faster you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I can totally do this. And so as a singer, most all of us can sit and just hum a tune or sing a tune, and it's easy. It just makes sense. But if you spend some effort and teach your fingers how to do the same thing, that's all I'm doing here. So anyway, so as I'm playing this, remember as you're playing, breathe in, breathe out, and just kind of breathe as if you were actually singing. Even though your body's not doing it, your hand will actually respond to the same way that you're playing the music. So I'm gonna finish up with this tune here. So this is Ryan's lullaby, and then I know it's about Lindsay's bedtime. I got to go tuck her in and get her to bed. So I'll finish up with Ryan's lullaby. Here we go. This is the part I have to breathe in and breathe out. there you go. We'll finish up with that for tonight. Thank you again for hanging in with me and joining me in my living room. This is fun. This is kind of fun. It definitely puts me out of my comfort zone, but hopefully it made for some nice music for you. We'll for sure do this again. I got to talk to the family and Stacy, see what works with the schedule, but probably within the next week we may do another one of these. So thanks again. You guys have a good night, and thanks again for the support.